very much.
Activities Officer. The Activities Officer advocates for and supports societies and student media. Their role includes improving engagement with activity outside of lectures and championing student group interests on campus.
I'm joined by Kaitlyn Beattie-Zarb, who is running for the role of Activities Officer. Kaitlyn, you are rerunning for this role, having held it for the last year. What has made you decide to rerun?
What has made me decide to rerun? I mean, the main thing is, I guess I've just had a lot of fun. It's a really interesting job, and it's a job you're never ever going to have the chance to do again in your life. Like, you're at one side working with societies, which is what I've loved doing my entire time of university and working with student media. But on the other side, you're the trustee of an organization and you're getting to pick who the next CEO of that multi-million organization is. So yeah, like, when are you ever going to do that again? Plus I get paid to go to societies, which is just like crazy cool. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, you say that if you were re-elected, you would secure a long-term home for societies on campus. What would this look like in practice?
So this is one of the more feasible parts of my manifesto, I think. We've already had a lot of conversations with the university about finding a solution to the lack of a student centre. I guess everyone was incredibly depressed when they took that away about a year ago. And it's the lack of a student centre and the lack of a home for societies on campus has really led to this problematic supply and demand issue where there's too many societies. Well, not too many. There's never too many societies, but a lot of societies, and that number keeps growing. But they don't have enough rooms to practice in. They don't have enough flat floor space. They don't have enough storage. They don't have enough funds. We're getting to a nerve-wracking point where we don't want to ever have to say no to a new society forming. But if the university doesn't actually give us the resources to handle the demand, we're going to be out of luck. So yeah, we're talking to the university about using one of the empty rooms that are empty buildings that have just been mothballed by the university in an effort to save funds. And yeah, it would have more than enough storage, a ton of rooms that are run by the union, so you're not having to fight with lectures to get into that space. And we hope would be a much better, more communal environment.
Thank you. So also falling under your manifesto section on breaking down bureaucracy for societies is your commitment to re-examining the York Code of Conduct and society behavioural guidelines to verify that these are fit for purpose. Do you have particular guidelines or parts of the Code of Conduct in mind here?
Oh, nothing particular in mind. I think what these policies need is like a holistic re-examining, and you can't do that with one ambition in mind, because that code of conduct needs to be fit for at least 10,000 members, but ideally 24,000 students on campus, because you never know which student is going to pop up in a society. So no, I definitely don't think I'm going into that review with any particular aims and ambitions, because that would be unfair to the general population of students. But we're already looking at it right now, literally, and I want to make sure that whole review happens.
Okay, so you also promised to fight for students to have the right to access food and campus on weekends and late nights. This seems to be quite a prominent issue this election cycle, and I'm just wondering how you would plan on making a successful case to the university.
I mean, mainly this is the university loves to talk about how cool their societies are. They use them in media, in the ads they send out to prospective students. But ultimately, right now, societies don't feel like they can use campus. They don't feel like they've got that space free for them. A lot of students have complained that their events aren't really being run as well as they used to be, and they don't have food, and when they have external people coming on to these events, the offering is really, really scarce and looks awful. So yeah, the university really seems to care about societies, and they like that societies exist. So the aim is that, okay, well, if societies are going to keep existing, they need food and spaces to exist in.
Thank you. So very quickly, you've made funding kind of a big issue on your manifesto. You want to improve funding options for international students. Where's the money for that going to come from?
Ultimately, the university is in an impossible financial situation, and they've talked about that a lot. What's needed is a look at what the funding currently is and making sure that funding stays in place for many years to come. It's about diversifying our income options as well and talking to alumni.
I'm very sorry to interrupt,
That's
but
okay.
thank you for your time. We're going to move on to our next interview for activities
Thanks.
officer. Thank you.